I am willing to spend my life forever grateful. Let's go within. There is one thing itself, and that thing itself I call God. You can call it source, energy, power, love. But know this, there is only one, and that one is you. And there is something magical that happens in this place. When you breathe in, you breathe in that thing itself, that energy, that form. It is you. It is through you. And it means a lot because you are perfect. You are whole. You are complete right here and right now. I am grateful for this morning, for this day, for the love, the people around me, for Spirit allowing us to move and sing and pray and be one. I am grateful for all of this, for the knowingness that life is perfect and life is good and life is complete with you. And I release this into the power of the universe, knowing that it's perfect, just as it is. And so it is. And now please join me for the affirmation of the day. Divine abundance is forever manifesting itself in my affairs. I desire to only do what is good and constructive, living life expressing. Therefore, I know that I shall prosper in everything I do. I know that I exist in limitless possibility. This I accept, and this I accept.
It's time to get your praise on, so lift your hands up.
You've been praying, you've been meditating, you've been still even in your pain, you've been watching, you've been waiting as your life fills up with rain. But you've also seen the glory of God revealed all through your life, and you know it's okay to say thank you, Lord. It's
Time to get your praise on, so lift your hands up.
God brought you through some times in your life when you didn't know which way was up or down, and you know that if it wasn't for the love of God, you'd be level to the ground, and you know that the glory of God revealed all through your life, and you know it's okay to say thank you, Lord. It's time.
Get your praise on, so lift your hands up.
Thank you, Lord. It's time.
Get your praise on, so lift your hands up.
Come on, get your praise on. Don't you worry what nobody says.
That's right, it's time to get your praise on. Caucasians, blacks, browns, and Asians. Everybody knows that feeling of anguish. To give praise is a universal language. Give as much as those that you wish for. I'm trying to change from victim to victor. Put your hands up and praise the pride and say thank you, God, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Start your beat, everybody.
3 weeks ago, I asked Reverend David for prayer, and he said, okay. And then he said, throw down your cane and walk, son. I'm here to tell you, I'm healed. Hello, my name is Richard Hume. I want to talk about what our center means to me. At the top of a very long list is friendship, community, and sanctuary. When I came here 13 years ago as an atheist, I would never have dreamed there was such a thing as a spiritual being in a human body. I now know that to be true. And I appreciate every class and workshop that supported me in my spiritual growth, not to mention Reverend David, his talks, and his example. The friendships I've made here are deep. Friends I can count on for support and love, just like the support and love I give them. Whether acting in a play, helping with an auction, or serving at a pancake breakfast, it's all the same. Friendship makes involvement in activities here at the center much, much more than getting something done. It means doing it with like-minded people who are friends and acquaintances. It is the sense of community that brings joy. This place is my home. It's my sanctuary. It is a place where I feel nurtured, and in times of challenge, I'm supported as I move through healing. So, for example, I had full knee replacement on October 1st. Surgery finished early in the morning, and I walked a bit with a physical therapist at 5 p.m. The surgeon took a video of me walking the next morning before I was discharged. He said yes when I asked him if I could do it with a cane and not the walker. And that's the way I left the hospital. So now I guess I'm the poster boy for bitchin' knee service. That's 78. Well, tomorrow I'm 78. Seriously, I'm confident that prayers and support from my friends, practitioners, and ministers contributed greatly to my healing. I love supporting the center in many ways, not the least of which is financial support. At this time of year, I'm reminded of the meaning of giving and the joy it gives me. Somehow it feels selfish to say that, but the truth is, whether you focus on the giving at the beginning or the receiving at the end, it's all about the beautiful process of circulation. I give to the center, and it helps create programs and ministries that are far-reaching. The most important thing, perhaps, is that it helps keep the doors open, and that certainly benefits me. Now, we can't always know how someone's gift will return a measure of abundance to him or her. Over 20 years ago, when he was a sweet, generous kid, I represented Charlie Sheen. Charlie asked me as a favor to help a friend of his. And so I introduced Charlie's friend to one of the best attorneys in the appropriate field of law for his friend's issue. After the friend and I met with the attorney who agreed to take his case, the friend thanked me, saying no one had ever done anything kind like that for him before. I was very surprised. I told him it was a pleasure. It was easy, which it was, and we parted. I told him we parted without further thought nor expectation of benefit on my part. But here's what happened. About 6 months later, that friend of Charlie asked me to handle all of his legal affairs, which I did, and we had a happy and productive relationship until I retired at the end of 2011. His business made my legal career because he became a big star and contributed enormously to the life of abundance that I experience now. A big win-win. Ever since then, Cynthia and I have been trying very hard to outgive God. We found it just isn't possible. But that's not going to stop us from trying. Whether it is love, kindness, or financial support, what I know is that what I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. So God bless you, and thank you for listening to me. I love you all. If David will pipe me off, good old religious hymn.
Good morning. This morning I was coming down 880, Interstate 880, and I noticed that they had changed the HOV, the carpool lane restrictions. I just noticed the sign because I was the passenger this morning. So I drive from Oakland to San Jose at least 4 days a week, and I rely on that gap between 9 a.m. when the carpool lane is open for people like me and 5 p.m. when it's closed again. And this morning I noticed that the carpool lanes are going from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly. I'm glad you weren't in the car with me, or I wouldn't have got over it as quickly. I'm bringing this up with you because something began to happen in my being. I began this morning cheerful and happy and hopeful. And then on my way here, darkness and negativity and like, what's that character in Charlie Brown that has the dust cloud over him? That was me. I was suddenly brooding and fretful. And then I have this parallel voice that says, "You're the minister. Do something about this." And I was thinking, well, that doesn't apply here because, and you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I got to tell you, it's just amazing. It's just amazing having spiritual transformation in such a transparent kind of way. I'm so happy that I could grow up in front of all of you. I had a recollection in the passenger seat, and that is that nobody, no person, ever behaves inappropriately given what's occurring for them. Everybody's behavior is totally and absolutely appropriate depending on how things are occurring for them. And what was occurring for me was that this wasn't going to work for me to have this thought process and this perspective. It needed to be transformed. And what was occurring for me is that I have the power to do something about it. Yeah, I know. That took me a couple hours. But I got there. Mauricio said, he was totally silent. He says nothing in the car, just drive. Smart man. We've actually learned that silence works. You don't have to talk through everything. Sometimes just let things die. Just let them die. We keep like resurrecting them. Let me water that problem. Let me come back. I notice it's mostly a female laughter I'm hearing in the room right now. Most of the males are very quiet. So I just love the Science of Mind textbook, page 52. I just love it. Page 52, last paragraph, lower left. Hence it follows that if we believe that life cannot and will not, then according to principle, life does not. But even when life does not, life still does, only it does according to our beliefs that it will not. It's the beauty of this universe. I don't always get what I want, but I get what I expect. That's the design. There are very few surprises. So the learning and the occurring that emerged for me is that life is really simple. It's not all that complicated. Life is not that complicated. It's very complex, but life is not complicated, as evidenced yesterday when Mao and I were at this educational event. And we were in a room with hundreds of people, and sitting right next to me was Patty Searle. Patty Searle, straight in your face, straight shooter Patty Searle. Patty Searle sitting right next to me, big old love muffin Patty Searle. Patty Searle next to me when the facilitator asks the question, how do you stay married for 40 years? Patty leans over and says, you don't get divorced. Life is really simple. It's not complicated. If you want to know how to stay married for 40 years, you don't get divorced. That's how you stay married. You don't divorce. All the others, everything else is details. Life is really simple. And there's a very simple element to the science of mind and spirit that most of the time ministers like me don't like to talk about it. I avoided it for years. I tried to ignore it for years, even though it was one of those teachings that could possibly impact people such a way to move them from unworkability to workability. And yet I was still afraid because it causes the least amount of happiness in a crowd. I mean, even now that I'm saying that, I can feel the bristling. You're like, what? Money. Money. It's a bad word now in the world. Most people don't like to talk about it. Well, we like to talk about it, but we talk about it as if it's not part of our life. We talk about it like it's the weather or people we don't like. We talk about it like there's not enough of it or someone else has it and you should have it and you don't have it. We talk about it, but we're also very secretive about it and we're scared about it and we have lots of shame about it. Yeah. When I was a kid, you could actually say cigarettes out loud, but you'd say condoms quietly. And that wasn't that long ago. But the big awareness that I'm getting is that they'll post things on Facebook. Like they'll post really what I think is kind of private stuff. They'll post things on Facebook and just like broadcast to the entire world. But I've noticed they'll broadcast who they're doing, how they're doing it, how it is, and they'll broadcast, click, yeah, Michelle, wait till you get my job. It's amazing. The videos people send me, I'm going to sell them. Except for confidentiality. That. Anyway, folks, we'll talk about just about anything, but when it comes to money, the conversation quiets. So I've told the foundations class this in the last couple weeks recently. People will, in a counseling session, share just about anything. But if I were to just ask, so Lynn, how much is in your checking account? No. I forgot, wrong person, because Lynn will say anything. Most folks would say, oh, that's none of your business. You guys see what we're dealing with? But what's the big secret? It's just an exchange of energy. It's just an opportunity to move into what life is all about, and that is to be generous and be receiving, to be giving and be receiving. There's really only one problem in the world, and the problem is stagnation. That's the only problem I've ever discovered. It's all stagnation. Maybe we're stagnant in relationships, or we're stagnant with sex, or we're stagnant with vibrant health, or we're stagnant with money, or we're stagnant with ideas, or we're stagnant with new growth opportunities. There's only one problem, and the problem is stagnation. And there's only one solution: circulation. But it's funny, we have this experience of all this unexpected outgo. We talk about the Unexpected Income Club in Foundations. It's one of my favorite things to do, the Unexpected Income Club. And we have an Unexpected Income Club because most of us are aware of unexpected outgo. It registers for us, you know? Like there you are, you're just about to pay off your car and the washing machine dies. And we jokingly say, like a couple in an old folks home, not too long later, the dryer goes too. Or you're about to get ready to go on vacation and your water heater breaks. Unexpected outgo. But there's unexpected income that happens all the time, and we're just not zeroed in on it. We don't even notice it. For example, if you're going to pay $2 for a box of Fruit Loops and you get to the market and they're buy one, get one free, you've just made $2 because you got 2 boxes for the price of $2. That's unexpected income. You're going to go to Pete's Coffee and you're planning on buying, You're planning on buying Matt a cup of coffee, and then but Matt turns around and says, I'm going to buy coffee for you. That $4.50 latte that you were going to buy, you just saved that money. That's $4.50 income, unexpected income. You're going to go to Macy's and buy a new dress for a party next weekend, and you're expecting to pay $200 for it. And when you get there, it's $150. You just saved $50. That's unexpected income. We tend not to notice those things, but we're skewed. We twist reality such that we notice unexpected outgo. And hence it follows, if you believe that it cannot and will not, according to principle, it does not. And if you believe that life is still sucking you dry, even though it's not, it'll appear that it is, because that's your perspective. So what we're up to in places like this is shifting our perspective. Because we're not in some experiment just waiting to get it right so we can ascend to finally meet our God. I mean, God is here now as you and me. We're using the very energy of the thing itself. We're using it even when we're in the passenger seat on 880 southbound and having dialogue about the carpool lane. We can do something about it. We'll do something about how it's occurring for us. So there's only one problem, and that is stagnation. There's only one solution, and that is circulation. And ways to do that is to just start circulating. I like the idea of everybody breathe in with me, but don't breathe out. Ever, never. Why don't you have that 64-ounce big gulp? Drink it in, but don't pee. That's silly, right? That's just silly. But we expect money to keep coming, and we curse it or fear it when it goes. And it may be off balance, by the way. You may have a lot of it going out, and you're not a receiver. You may want to ask the question, am I like a receiving monster? Because you may want to try on being a receiving monster. But what I want to talk to you about today is moving into a sense of giving. But giving in such a way that it's not haphazardly, and giving in such a way that you are taking it on as an experiment. So don't believe anything that I say. Some of you are already wired for that. Good. But don't believe what I say as much as believe what I say is a possibility. Take it on, try it on, see if it works. And if it doesn't, come back next week and we'll offer something new. Take this on, try it on, and see if it works. I am now challenging you to move into regular, structured, conscious giving, especially if you're not currently doing it. Today's the day it starts. Start regular, structured, conscious giving. And the reason why I want to practice in it, and I do, is because it keeps me aware that I have something to give. See, I'm pretty darn sure Dave didn't learn to play the piano, Dave Dumont. I'm pretty sure he didn't learn to play the piano. I'm pretty sure that Michelle didn't learn to sing when Dave played only when he felt like it, or Michelle sang only when she felt like it. I realize I'm not learning Spanish when I speak it only when I feel like it. It's when I apply myself in a regular, structured, conscious way that I'm creating something. And you know what we're creating? We're creating consciousness. So there's this great mystery around prayer. Why does prayer work? Because God answers some prayers and not others? Because God says, oh, you I like, and you I like, and you I like, and you, oh, well. Well, that's just, we know that that's not so. The reason, well, then why would some prayers work and some don't? Well, the purpose of prayer, as is the purpose of every spiritual practice, the purpose of it is not to get God to do something that God is unwilling to do. The purpose of spiritual practice is to build consciousness. Because consciousness creates. God doesn't create because God is everything already. God doesn't create the piano because God is the piano. God doesn't create your breath because God is your breath. God doesn't create the sun because God is the sun. But consciousness is what creates. The consciousness of this thing itself is what creates the piano, the sun, your breath, etc. Are you following me so far? So what we want to really create is we want to create consciousness. I don't want to have faith, just faith in God. I want to have the faith of God. So you can do it. It actually can be done. You can create the consciousness of money and health and vibrancy and sexiness and and creation and creativity and hopefulness and new futures. Do you know that the best part of your life, the very, very best day of your life hasn't happened yet? Get that. That's helpful to remember when you're disappointed or sad, like especially people going through a breakup. The best relationship in your life hasn't happened yet. And the best finances for you hasn't happened yet. Nicole, as rich as you are, I expect more from you. Richard Hume, bring it on. And Cynthia's the impetus behind all of it. She's the one with a checkbook going, who do you want me to write this to? Who do you want? I'm thinking, I love her. I love her. So here's what I'm suggesting you do. I am suggesting that you create consciousness by moving into action. See, your thoughts are not necessarily what creates. It's your thinking. Thoughts and thinking are not the same. So we don't say change your thoughts, change your life, because you've changed your thoughts several times since you've been in here. But the question is whether or not you've changed your thinking. So I had all kinds of thoughts in the passenger seat of the van. Do you guys get this? I had lots of thoughts, but my thinking was I was victimized. But my thoughts were do something, and then I moved into the rhythm of the thinking of it. And the thinking of it was this in the big scheme does not matter, and it will work itself out. This will actually be the best thing that could have happened in my life. This is going to turn out to be, oh my God, amazing, the best thing. So we are not out to create thoughts, we're out to create thinking. And the way you create thinking is regular, structured, conscious use of it. Any of you ever had a habit? A few of you. Watch this. Hi, my name is David.
Hi, David.
Yes, you've had habits. Some of you just don't know. You're the normies. Go ahead and have a drink. You're fine. And some of you... I was referring to 12-step programs, anybody who's in addiction. So you didn't develop that just by a once-in-a-while thing. You are serious at it. You constructed it. So let's construct an experience of financial freedom, and how you do that is by giving money. The question today is how much to give. That question's almost irrelevant. I remember early on, I was asking, is it net or gross? Is it percentage or number? Should I give like 10% or $10? What is it going to be? Because I wanted the magic number that was going to get God to it was like Indiana Jones or Harry Potter, the spell that would just open and dissipate the door. That's what I wanted to happen. Whatever was going to make it finally work. But I realized what was going to make it finally work was when I got it. What we're out to get is getting it. So it's easy. Start wherever you are, start there, and start giving and give regularly. There's a lot of superstition around giving, lots of superstition. Like, oh, here it comes. This is where they're trying to get their hands in my pocket, is where the church is trying to get my firstborn, my blood. They want my child, they want my boat. Probably not. So we stop listening because there's lots of superstition. There's even New Thought places like this will say, you should give where you're spiritually fed. That's superstitious. That's the way to like manipulate you to steer it towards Clark Street. I want it steered towards Clark Street. I'm not going to lie. I want you to send it here. But the truth is, you just need to give money away. You can fold it into paper airplanes and throw it out at the neighborhood. You can burn it. You can flush it. But if you're going to throw it, burn it, or flush it, send it to us. Do you guys get this? Nothing mystical and mysterious occurs when you send it here except you're participating in the flow. So let's not be superstitious about this. I want to be straight up with you about this. Because this matters. It matters to me, and I'm hoping it matters to you. So I actually started, I don't remember if it was a number or a percentage, but I had a coach, a friend, a mentor, a teacher, who said, create a schedule of increase. And that's what I did. Because I did start right away with 10%, and that was just stupid. That's just stupid. STOOPID. Stupid. That was stupid. Because then I was struggling to make ends meet. I was scared, and all of a sudden what was supposed to help me caused me to be afraid. That was counterproductive. So, let's say you start with 1%. Let's say in the U.S., here in the Bay Area, $50,000 is the average income. A lot of folk are way over that average, but 50 grand. 50 grand at 1% of 50 grand is $500. So you will promise to give $500 in the year. Divide that by weeks, because I like to give mine weekly. I want to be regular about it. At my age, I like regularity. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So dividing that even by the weeks, it's just a little less than $10 a week. Can I do that? Yes. But if 1% this year is what I'm doing, then next year I'm going to move it to 2%. And then the next year I'm going to make it 3%. And the next year I'm going to make it 4%. I'm going to create a schedule of increase. Do you know, I don't give 10%. I don't. I give 11.5%. And I give 11.5% because for about 8 years I gave 10%, but then it just became like writing a bill. It just became like writing my mortgage or writing my car payment. I didn't even think about it. It was just part of my life. And then when I went to 11.5%, I would like, oh, there's like a sale at Nordstrom. I really want to go on that cruise with my mother-in-law. You know? So the moving it up, 1.5, it brought me to be present to it again. I was suddenly awake to it. I wasn't just numb. And that's how it's built. You create a schedule of increase. Make it doable. That's a big thing. I want to begin winding this down with asking you to make it doable. So our staff was in a staff event where we were learning a new mode of being. We were learning a new process. And the facilitator said, take this on in doable chunks. So make it doable. We said, what do you mean? He said, well, if you like walked up and said, Denny, drop and give me 200 push-ups, Denny might go, because that's not doable for Denny at this. Maybe it is, Denny, please don't forgive me. It's not doable. Right? So it's like, okay, well, that's a lovely idea. Someone else will do it some other day, not me. But if I said, Denny, give me 5 push-ups, he might take that on because 5 is doable. And then after he does 5, and if he does 5 again next week, and 5 the next week, and 5 the next week, he might be able to do 10, and then 15, and so on. Make it doable. Start with something, and then create a schedule of increase, but make it doable. And why we're doing this, by the way, is so we're involving with circulation, not just taking in and also not just going out. So at this conference yesterday, at this education event, they were exploring the theme, how has contribution shaped your life? The whole event was how contribution has shaped your life. And person after person after person came up and took the microphone and just talked about people and how these people have made a contribution to their lives. There was one woman who was talked about. She recently passed away. She was an 84-year-old Persian woman who for the last 15 years, since she was 69 years old, has been studying at San Francisco State University for her bachelor's degree. And she didn't quite make it when she passed away on the 7th of October. But because the folks at the psychology department at San Francisco State University have a sense of contribution, how they're making an impact, the psychology department showed up at the funeral of this deceased 84-year-old Persian woman and presented her bachelor's degree to the family. That's making a contribution. We make a contribution in many ways. Our book of the month is called The Power of Giving. I urge you to get the book, because it's not just about money. It's about being involved in contribution, making a contribution. Here's my aim. I want to give at least twice of what I take. I want to be one who's making a contribution and who's only taking half of what I'm giving. I want to be one of those folks who's benefiting the world. Don't you? Yeah. Well, how we do that is to move into action. Analysis leads to paralysis. Analysis almost always leads to paralysis. I don't know, I think about it. And there's a good one we say in Science of Mind. I'm confused. I'm just so confused. No, you're not. You know exactly what to do. You just don't like it. It's not the same. No longer, I know, you can't pull that I'm confused card. It doesn't work anymore. We know. So analysis leads to paralysis. You know what leads to transformation? Action. Action always leads to transformation. Always. Take action today. Let's pray. I'm very grateful to be here in this room on this day at this time with these people and these folks who are with us live streaming and those folks who are right now listening on their MP3s at the gym or running in the hills or driving in their car. Because right this very moment, with the awareness that there's something to which everything is possible, anything is now possible. Entering a new field of possibility. You and I are creating the best Sunday afternoon ever. And this Sunday afternoon is so amazing, so jam-packed with everything, nothing, that tomorrow is going to be one of those amazing Mondays, which creates the best week ever, leading us to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on. The best day of our life has not yet happened, but today will be the best thus far. And this is so because I said it so. It's that simple. It's so because I said so. And that's the way the universe is built. That's the way God creates and the way you and I create as God. Because we said so. And so the changing of the carpool lanes on 880 is a blessed event because I said so. Folks in this room are now moving into riches about which they've only dreamed because I said so. And this being the best Sunday ever is so because I said so. And now I get to take the action to back it up. And so it is. The ushers are going to come forward and help us with the sharing of our gifts and tithes and offerings. And while they do, I invite you to take out your gift and put it over your heart perhaps, or answer the phone. Is that Dave? Let me have it. Let me have it. Oh, you hung up? Oh, he turned it off. Chicken. Say the giving affirmation with me, won't you? I am determined to fulfill my highest vision of serving others. Giving opens the way for greater blessings to come into my life.
And open the door and
yourself off and get on your horse, 'cause here comes the second wind. Don't ever give in. Here comes the second wind. Don't ever give in. Look at you rising. You gotta keep trying. It's gonna be a new rising, and the sun's gonna be shining. Now here comes the second wind. Don't ever give in. Now here comes the second wind. No, no. Don't ever give in. Get back on your horse and ride like the wind, and never look back, 'cause you're gonna win. Now here comes the second wind. Don't ever give in. Now here comes the second wind. Don't ever give in. Don't ever give in. Don't ever give in. Here comes your second. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Lucy. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, choir. Thank you, Allie and Jeff and John and Linda and Michelle and Michelle and Dave. I love choir Sunday. It's awesome. Hi, everybody. So we're not doing tag slides anymore. Instead, while I go over the announcements, I have backup group that will be doing interpretive dance. Show people. Hey, who can tell me what's happening today at 1 o'clock? Yes, we're giving money away. So anyone who wants to, please meet Reverend Darlene at the food court at Valley Fair. Buy her a pretzel, and no, I'm kidding. No, but bring some singles, like at least 2, and give money away and see what happens. Like, let us know on our Facebook page, let Dr. David know on our Facebook page, what was that like for you? And it's really fun to watch people's reaction, because they all want to know, well, who are you? Are you with the church? Why are you doing that? So it's kind of fun. And also at 1 o'clock in the former garden known as Meditation, there will be our annual animal blessing. That was difficult. Pray for me. Tonight at 6 p.m., Reverend Darlene will be doing the 6 p.m. service with music by Linda and Brett and Jen and Karen. And at Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Practice Makes Permanent. We're still talking about giving and circulation, and it'll be myself and Kevin Swanson, and this week is what goes around comes around. And on Thursday at 7 p.m., Reverend Darlene's Aware series. Next Saturday, we're having a Prosperity Day of Prayer. If you would like a 30-minute private appointment with any one of our ministers, well, David will be here, he'll be away, but the ministerial staff, ministers in training, please sign up at the concierge. The one thing we want you to know is that it's not a drop-in. It's actually by appointment. So if you're interested next Saturday in being here for that, please come to the concierge or see me afterwards, and we will get you all signed up.
And we have so much happening next Sunday. It's going to be the best day ever, just like today. We have the Visioning series next Sunday at 12:30. At 2 o'clock, we have a community wedding. It's awesome. We have 3 couples that are going to be getting married. It's simple. It's beautiful. If you can be here to support them, please do. If you want to get married and you have a license, okay? You know who you are. Then be here at 2 o'clock next Sunday, and let Dr. David know ahead of time so we can have your names officially in the roster. So October 31st, I know that's a ways away yet, but not that much. I want to tell you real quick that this is the second time that we're doing Trunk or Treat. We're so excited about this. Anybody do it last year? Anyone? Bueller? We had the best time. So you guys are adults in the community, especially those of you who maybe don't have munchkins, can come at around 6 o'clock, like at 6, and bring your car into the parking lot. You can wear a costume or not, but what happens is you pop your trunk and you decorate your trunk and you have candy in there. And then our parents with kids show up and the kids are in costume and they parade from car to car going trunk or treat. It's so much fun. It's adorable. And our parents can have peace of mind and let their kids have a good time because they know that you're going to give good candy. So... And then we hide the leftovers from David. It's a blast. So that's October 31st. Outreach this month. We're collecting warm garments for the homeless. Please visit the outreach table. It's the time of year where we really, really need to show up in support of something like that. And there you go, right? It's all about giving. And next Sunday, okay, so here's one of the best things of all. At 10:45 next Sunday, we're doing the official ribbon cutting for the garden. So those who came to the early service will exit through the garden, and those coming for second service will enter through the new Sacred Space garden out front. And at 10:45, we'll all be piled on the sidewalk, make the neighbors crazy, wonder what we're doing, and we'll do a prayer and a ribbon cutting. So that's 10:45 next Sunday. And lastly, on November, October 1st is past. On November 1st, we are having an evening of cabaret. I'm really excited about it. We took 13 of all-time Broadway hits and we took massive creative license with them and have rewritten them as a special tribute to you, this community, and also as kind of a gentle roast because it's David's birthday on November 1st. You may not know that. Yes. So we're having a big old birthday party, and the only thing you have to do in order to get in is to turn in your giving intention form. You don't have to buy a ticket. You simply just fill out your pledge form, your giving intention form, and you can either turn it in person in Fellowship Hall today. You can see Matt, and he'll give you a ticket. Or if you already did your pledge online or mailed it in, please do not worry. You will be on a will call list, just like a VIP. So when you come in the foyer, your name will be checked off and you will be taken to your seats. Okay? That's November 1st. And we wanted you to have a little preview of that. So here we are.
Oh, the center is my very favorite place to be. Everyone gets in, there is no sin, and it is the perfect place for me.
Oh, the center every week, they tell me welcome home. Our teaching's great, we meditate in the silence or by chanting on. We know God is in you and I, the big daddy who lives in the sky. And when I pray, wow, I know it's on the way. I always say
Park my brain at the door, and I'm not mad at God anymore. And when I pray, wow, I know it's on the way. I'm always saying I changed my life at the center. Now I'm doing OKC, SL, San Jose at the same
Please stay standing and repeat after me. I am at home in the heart of God.
I am at home in the heart of God.
My life is anchored in truth.
My life is anchored in truth.
I can never be separate.
I can never be separate.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I release all fear.
I release all fear.
I am living love.
I am living love.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Good job. Did it feel good? Oh, yeah. I know you're ready to go. See you next month. Listen out for emails. Hopefully have CDs ready for the concert in December 13th. All right. Oh, take cheers back. Let's take a look.
Sorry, that's okay.